Hi, this is Mobile Max in West Hollywood. It's Monday evening, October 21st, 2024, and I feel it in my bones. I feel it. We're starting to win this thing. The brave Ukrainians are starting to turn the tide against the Russians. The Putin is cracking. The Israelis are whipping the shit out of Hezbollah and Hamas. And next is Iran on the list. The Ukrainians, they're not going to stop. They're tough and they're going to hold their mud, those Ukrainians. They've been wanting their freedom for over 100 years. Do you know that they declared independence shortly after the Russian Revolution in 1917? They were actually free and independent for 1 year before the Communist Party retook Ukraine. Do you know how many degradations and Holocaust that's been inflicted on the Ukrainians by the Soviet Union and Russia? Joseph Stalin starved 4 to 5 million Ukrainians when they refused to go along with his communal farming arrangement. They wouldn't give up their private farms and go into some public communal farm arrangements. So he just plain stole all their food and starved 4 to 5 Ukrainians. You know where the Chernobyl reactor was? The one that melted and had a huge radioactive explosion? That was in Ukraine. Chernobyl was in Ukraine. The Russians have been abusing the poor Ukrainians for the longest time, and now is their time for freedom. They know it. They will go for it. They're going to fight for it. They're going to die to the last man. It doesn't matter whether we support them or not. These are tough people, and they are going for their freedom. They're going to fight for it. Same thing with Israelis. The goddamn Putin is behind Iran and their plans to destroy Israel, and now the Israelis and the Ukrainians are starting to win. There's no more times for negotiation. We got to put our pedal to the metal. We got to win this thing. The Putin is cracking. Why didn't the Putin authorize another mobilization of Russian troops? Why did he call on the North Koreans? Because he can't. Remember, the Putin, he's a poker player. He's a great bluffer. He goes all in. The Putin will do what the Putin can do. The Putin doesn't have any reserve. He goes all in. Even though he's getting a lot of help from China in manufacturing new vehicles, the cracks are showing. The Russian people are fed up with dying. Ukrainian statistics show that almost 1 million Russians have died in this war. So the usual statistic is injuries and wounds, multiply the dead by 3, and then you get the amount of injuries and non-fatal wounds. So there's a good 4 million Russians who've been killed and wounded in this thing, and I believe they're starting to get fed up with the Putin. Tired of dying for him. I mean, they have a whole history, the Russian people, of dying by the millions for their dictatorships. Hell, the Tsar, Peter the Great, had millions of Russians dying in World War I. That's what instigated the communist revolution. They got tired of dying for the Tsar. And so they turned to the communists. Joseph Stalin had them dying in World War II. They had this feeling called the acceptance of death among the Soviet people, the Russian people in World War II, because their generals sent them on suicidal frontal attacks where they'd be mowed down by the excellent Wehrmacht. So they had an acceptance of death. That's how bad it was. They expected to die, and they wanted to, I guess they didn't want to, but it was going to happen. It was inevitable. And so it goes. Same thing is happening in Ukraine. Putin and the generals send the Russian soldiers into suicidal frontal meat waves that get mowed down by the Ukrainians. The Russians are getting fed up with Putin. The cracks are showing. We got to put the pedal to the metal. Let's finish this thing. Let's finish the goddamn Putin and all his allies off. Let's finish Iran off. Let's finish those Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. All those organizations, those terrorist organizations that not only hate Israel, but they hate the United States of America and everything we stand for. We have the advantage now. We need to put our pedal to the metal and win this thing. And break the goddamn Putin's back. Let's go for it. I feel it in my bones. We're getting there. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Oh, by the way, we need to elect Kamala Harris and not Trump if you want to win, because naturally we all know that Trump's a big friend of Putin. We don't want that. We need to put our pedal to the metal and accelerate and win this thing. All right, that's all I got to say. This is Max signing off.